pie face right away from Jake Something here at Pro Wrestling Conquest, one-on-one with Daniel Eads. And Jake Something is a name we've seen before in Pro Wrestling Conquest, and somebody that I think has been on the mind of management for quite some time because of just the sheer size and the physicality Jake Something brings to the table. Great to see him finally here in Charleston. And what a test for both these men. Daniel Eads is unbeaten so far here in Pro Wrestling Conquest. A win over MLW's Logan Creed, a win over Ryan Edmonds as well. Sorry I brought it up. But
it's okay. It's okay. This is obviously Daniel's second most trying test in the form of Jake Something.
Jake Something is so confident. He feels that he is that memorable and he is that impactful that he doesn't even need a flashy name. He's Jake Something, and when he yells out, "What's my name?" and each and every person in this crowd is able to answer it, that's a status of power, a sign of strength and dominance to Jake Something, because he can own the room, and he can make you take notice of him no matter what or who is involved.
I'd be apt to agree with you, because he's not only is he definitely a hoss just by looking at him, but from what I've seen, he is, like you said, something.
Yeah, we have, I'll tell you what, he's something else. If you've never seen him compete before, a dominant force in the Midwest. Of course, he's appeared in Impact Wrestling, and just recently there has come into his own and gone under the Jake Something moniker that he's most comfortable in. And Daniel Eads is well put together himself. He's one of the biggest men on the Conquest roster, but you wouldn't know it standing next to Jake Something.
Absolutely. Daniel's got that knockout punch he relies on heavily. There he actually kind of feigned it, but I don't know if one punch is going to be enough for that behemoth that is Jake Something.
They've called him One Punch Dan. We've seen it utilized in the past here at Conquest. I think Eads second only maybe to a Larry D as far as the strength of the right hand on the Conquest roster. And Something cinches in a side headlock, and that may be an ordinary rudimentary move, but imagine arms the size of Jake Something squeezing at your cranium. And Daniel Eads fashions himself as kind of a real-life Goku, an anime-type hero who wants to inspire the youngsters everywhere he goes as a professional wrestler. And one obstacle to overcome. It's almost like Jake Something is an anime or a comic book villain out there by just the sheer size and power he possesses.
We're sitting here concentrating on the size of Jake Something, but, just now watching him run the ropes, underestimatably fast for a big guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Jake Something's not a one-dimensional athlete. Jake Something, one of his top influences as he was breaking into the business, the late, great Mike Awesome. And Mike was probably one of the most agile big men of all time, 6'6", 290, but could fly through the air. I think Jake Something embodies a lot of that, not only as far as just the way he moves, but certainly the way he can manhandle his opposition.
Absolutely. I'd be agreeing with you there, Joe. It's now, I doubt we're going to see Jake Something dive over the top rope like Mike Awesome would, but that would be something.
Yeah, he may launch Daniel Eads over the top rope once or twice.
Very possible.
And this is really a gut check. This is not going to be, to me, a technical classic. It's not going to be catch as catch can. These are going to be two big, powerhouses testing one another's mettle and skill.
This is going to be who can hit the other one harder.
Yeah.
You can just look at him right now and tell that this is just going to be a slugfest.
And Daniel Eads has a background in powerlifting, a competitive runner and swimmer in high school. He's been an athlete his entire life, but just dwarfed by Jake Something, who is bringing a very methodical pace into this matchup. Jake Something's not going to do anything that Jake Something feels he doesn't have to do. He's going to dictate this tempo as much as possible and control Eads every step of the way.
It's a little miscalculation there, though.
And there you saw one shot by Eads was enough to cause Something to take pause here and back away. And that's a testament to the heavy-handed nature of Daniel Eads. Oh, Jake Something went to duck the chop, and Eads dropped the chop right across the back. And
right across the back meat.
Anybody who hasn't felt that, that will sting. Eads is noticeably quickening the pace a bit. With distance often comes opportunity, and Eads able to open this matchup more and use the fact that he's a hair quicker, I would say, a hair or two, than Jake Something is. Certainly Eads carrying much less body mass.
That's what it seems like, that his speed is definitely a few levels higher. And, you know, I give credit to Eads because all it took was one miscalculation on Jake's part, and he is taking control.
Check out the neck strength, the balance, incredible training.
Just a specimen.
That goes into that poise and precision, and down with a drop kick to a prone Jake Something below. And could this be a punch? Could this be a knockout shot? Jake Something doesn't see it coming, now he does, and Jake Something, you know, it may not be the most noble thing to do or the most aggressive or tough thing to do, but it's a smart thing to watch Eads elevate himself.
And here I thought Jake was going to dive over the top rope at one point.
Eads, the tope con hilo. I think Eads was tired of Jake Something turning tail and running away from the issue. Daniel Eads will take the fight to Jake Something if he has to, not let Jake Something control the pace anymore.
I don't know if I'd call it turning tail and running. It's just catching your breath. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's funny that he runs out of breath immediately when Daniel Eads cocks that fist back.
It could be like a Pavlov's dog syndrome. I don't know.
Geez, well, you don't need any Pavlovian response to a kick of the rope to that part of the body. Jake Something took a shortcut, and Daniel Eads is in no position to punch anybody now. Oh. Look at the height Jake Something is getting as he lifts his leg up to drop down with that massive stomp. And just the quickness, just the velocity, that leg comes down on top of Daniel Eads.
It's got to be like a tree coming down on you here. Those huge legs he's got, plus those big feet. He's got a 14, 15 size boot.
You heard Jake cry out, "What's my name?" and making sure everybody knows the name Jake Something, a lackadaisical cover for 2. And Jake Something, you know, we've talked about his offense in this matchup has been very basic. But basic things from Something, I mean, will feel like absolute death from a man that size. Daniel Eads fighting back, though, duck on the clothesline.
Where that speed's coming in handy.
Oh, God, just a diving body block. Not even a Luthez press, but almost like what Big Van Vader used to do. Just charging in with all of that mass, and Daniel Eads' momentum was actually to his detriment that time.
Yeah, that speed's definitely been the ace up his sleeve, but it definitely backfired right there as Jake saw it coming and found the answer to that question pretty quick.
I think all that thickness of just the core, the frame of Something hit Eads right in the upper chest. And there's a knockout punch from Something. How about that? Could this be it?
How amazing would it be if someone beats Daniel Eads with the knockout punch?
That's what Jake Something loves to do. He comes into an area, he rules the room, he takes over, he dominates, he calls the shots, but Eads looking to battle back.
Credit to Eads, though, with as big as Jake is, you watch when he lands those punches on the jaw, he's rocking Jake.
Logan Creed was 6'9". Eads got the victory over him a couple of months ago, and no disrespect to Logan, but I don't know that he had the power behind his punch that Jake Something does, who once again staggers Daniel. Oh, Jake Something, who's got to be, what, 6'5" or 6 in his own right?
Oh, absolutely, every bit of it.
Miscue in the corner, he hit hard.
But see, there's a second miscue from Jake. This is Daniel's opportunity, absolutely right here. He can't not capitalize on what's just happened.
And notice both of those miscues occurred when Jake Something quickened the pace and maneuvered his body in much the way Daniel Eads has tried to do. But you can see the physical nature of this matchup. Both men are spent. Everybody's got a plan to get punched in the mouth. And oh, gee.
That might be it right there.
Jake is out on his feet. Eat to feet connects into the roll-up. Thrust kick to the side of the jaw. Jake Something's fighting to his feet. Can you believe it?
That's an amazing sight right there. It's after 3 solid knockout blows, and he's still up. Wait a minute.
Knockout shot was ducked and Something back with one of his own. And immediately you can see Eads' legs turn to rubber. Eads is looking to create some distance here again. Oh, maybe baited Jake Something in. Oh! And Jake Something is down. This is a moment of opportunity, but Something gets his foot in the rope. Daniel Eads again made the most out of the distance between these two athletes. Something is down, something is motionless, but all he needed, unfortunately, the detriment to Daniel Eads that time was just the way Jake Something landed, that ring positioning. Put him in within reach of that bottom rope. Could this be all? Eads could be attempting the weight of the world. We've seen him score victory with that in the past. Jake Something makes the most of every opening he can find, and this could be Jake's time to shine. Down with a clothesline to the back of the head. Eads had no way to try to protect himself, and this could do, no! Half a count away from Daniel Eads' undefeated streak coming to an end.
That's all hard kicking out right there. We'd have thought no less of Daniel Eads if he'd have let that be it right there.
Not in the least. Oh, we talked about Mike Awesome. Oh, there's a sit out. Almost an awesome bomb variation. Will that do it? No.
Good Lord. Just the tenacity of Daniel Eads right now.
Well, that's that staying power. That's that drive. That's that resiliency Daniel Eads loves to possess. And I think Jake Something is a little bit taken aback by the fight in Daniel Eads.
Yeah, it seems like he's very used to already having a match over by now.
What's my name? And all of that weight just jumping off the ground, shoulder first. The wind taken out of Daniel Eads. When Eads sidesteps, Eads got a shot.
Did you hear that?
Oh, but what is this matchup taken out of Eads to who has enough left to capitalize on the damage done in this matchup so far?
Well, they both got their brains rattled on that one, I know. It's gonna be fun to see which one of them can come to faster.
Fun for these fans as well from 8 states strong, cheering on their favorites in pro wrestling Conquest. This match has been a stalemate. It has been brute force on brute force. Jake had to hold onto the rope to steady himself. This back and forth forearm exchange. You got to wonder how much either of these men are getting behind these shots, being so rubber-legged. Jeez, Eads pops up on the knee.
Right in the teeth.
Yeah, Something had nowhere to go. And Jake Something responds in kind, and many of these fans just in a hushed silence. I think they're just amazed and shocked at the physicality we've seen.
Well, it's been like watching Godzilla and King Kong go at each other, so evenly matched and so quickly paced. I don't think anybody knows who's really got the advantage right now.
I'm not sure if the two men in the ring are aware of that short arm clothesline. Shades of the legendary Jake the Snake Roberts. As Jake Something, notice he hung on to Eads the entire time, didn't give Eads any chance to get away. That's been Eads' weapon the whole match. Eads turns things around, got that huge uppercut again.
Yeah, that was Jake's plan. You keep a hold of him. If you can't get away from him, you can't get that speed going. Solid plan until it backfires.
But notice Eads keeps firing off with his best shots and Something keeps stirring. There's a knockout punch. A proud fist and the weight of the world. Daniel Eads. Oh, can he do it? 3-0 in Conquest.
And very impressive.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andy, that pound for pound may have been the most intense matchup we'll see all evening. But regardless of who you prefer, bottom line is Daniel Eads earned every single bit of this victory.
Absolutely he did. That was possibly the hardest fought battle I've ever sat here for. And that's just those two bulls in a china shop, basically. Daniel Eads keep his head held high, and Jake Something should not be ashamed of that loss. That was any man's game all night long.
Well, once Jake Something comes to and realizes the end result of how this match went down, he will be in a surly mood, to say the least. But my hat goes off to Daniel Eads, who a number of times in this matchup outmanned, overpowered, and to be honest, just physically dominated. But that heart, that tenacity, that resiliency came out in Daniel Eads, and he rose in almost superhero-like fashion, like he loves to do. and came out with a victory as these two warriors come face to face.
God, I hope they're not thinking about round 2.
Well, some may have thought we'd get a handshake. Jake didn't need the whole hand to deliver his message. That's Jake Something in a nutshell. You got to believe he'll be back ready to fight another day against Daniel Eads, against the world. But Daniel Eads keeps his undefeated streak intact here in Pro Wrestling Conquest.